Okay, hopping into a seller. Whoops. Okay, going to be doing our bi-weekly seller update, and this will be going out to all of our active sellers and all of our pendings. Okay, so what we have to remember right now is obviously the inventory is still very high compared to a couple years ago. I cannot stress enough, and I say this over and over, and I start every seller update video. If you are not receiving 3 minimum showings a week, you are overpriced. Now, a lot of things come to mind there. Well, it's the market, it's the winter, it's this, it's that, it's going to be better after the election, it's going to be better before. Half of America thinks it's going to be better after the election, half of America thinks it's not. It all evens out. There is no better time than today to sell your house. So what's happening is we're chasing the market down. Okay, why? Because prices got so overinflated. Okay, during COVID, they were going up 20 to 30% a year, 15% a year, and then all of a sudden that came to a screeching halt. A couple, 2.5 years ago, we haven't had much upward pricing adjustment, lots of downward, lots of price reductions. So we're going to take a look at county by county what's going on and compare that to the last time. And it's again, you can look at all of this data, but the only data you need to look at, no joke, is how many showings and how many offers have you had. If your house is sitting there and it's stagnant, getting one showing every couple, 2 or 3 weeks, it's too high. And it doesn't matter what happened up until this moment. It only matters this moment. How many showings this week have you had? Okay. Again, we always hope that things are going to get better. We're in the market that we're in. It doesn't change week to week typically. Okay. So, yes, around Christmas, couple days before and after Christmas, couple days before and after Thanksgiving, yeah, showings slow down a little bit. But if it's just been crickets, you've got to come down to where it's not crickets. It's the only way. We are marketing the heck out of these things. So then what happens is no showings. Rather than say, well, maybe it's my price, they say, well, maybe it's Jason's marketing. So that's obviously the first thing that comes to mind because nobody wants to drop their price. I wouldn't either. But I'm smart enough and I know that if I'm not having any show, we're thinking about putting our farm in the market. And I know if I'm not having any showings on my farm, that it's overpriced. My house too. So it doesn't matter what we want necessarily. It matters what the market's telling us. The question is, will we listen? Okay. And if the answer is no, then it's probably going to continue to sit there. Nobody comes along after 6 months and says, wow, this is an incredible value. Nobody else bought it. I just can't wait to own it. Okay. You got to come down. You got to come down. You got to come down. And you'll know that it was enough when you get a bunch of showings and then an offer. Okay. And there's no exact number that will work. So you try it. And if that didn't work, you try more. That's how it works. You're chasing it down to a point where it stimulates that activity and where then the offer comes in that's acceptable to you. You have to find that. And we'll have to find that together. That's why I do these things and kind of let you know. Not much has changed in the last couple of weeks, but now we're seeing some stuff shifting. So let's take a look. Okay. All right. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at Missoula County. Okay. Excuse me, I'm already on Ravalli County, so we'll just start there. Why not? 260. Now we were up to 285 there. Okay. So we're down 25 units. Now, where we're not down is on a couple things. Let's just go over to the statistics. And here's what we're going to look at in Ravalli County. We're up to 131 average days on market. That's incredibly high. We're looking at a list price. Now these houses are not sold. Okay. Looking at a list price to sell price ratio of 4%. Most these people have come down 4% and they're still not sold. So they're likely not there enough. The big thing that we're noticing is that we're seeing a lot of higher end homes come on the market on average because a lot of the people with high net worth are dumping their assets right now because they feel like they're going to come way down and there's going to be a lot more loss there. And I think that holds true for everything. So if you think about selling now, please remember in the spring, you're going to, again, in Montana, it has nothing to do with weather. I know you're telling yourself that because you're not having lots of showings and our mind plays tricks on us constantly. But the fact, what if this, what if that? But literally the amount of showings, regardless of season will show you how well you're priced in every sense of the word. Okay, because look, in the wintertime, typically there's a little less inventory. And if there's a little less inventory, shouldn't we, maybe there's one or two people who are afraid of snow or cold or whatever else, but there's less homes to see, so it all averages out. Everything's always relative. There's no bad month to sell your home. Okay, the question is, how bad do you want to sell it, and will you do what it takes to get down to the point where you're getting showings and then getting an offer? Okay, I know this is an awkward conversation, but it's one that has to be had, because if your house sits there for another 6 months, you're just going to get less and less and less. Days on market matter. Come down to where the fish are biting. Okay, now 131 average days on market. They're coming down 4%. They're still not sold. What does that tell you? That tells you they've got to come down more. Now let's go look at the pendings in Ravalli County to kind of get an idea of what's going on there. Okay, so we can look at, so the active ones have not sold. So 1.3 was the average list price, and that's not sold. Those are sitting there. There's a ton of that high-end inventory for sale all across the state. Again, high net worth individuals are dumping assets right now, seemingly putting them on the market. Now, here's the results. If we look at the statistics for what has gone under contract overall, average days on market was 97. Look at that. The average under contract list price was 675. Average acres was 3.1. 3 bedrooms, 2.3 baths. That's obviously an average. And then, so that's what they're getting for the 675 is 3 acres and approximately 2,000 square feet. So it's important to look at that, okay, in relationship to where you are, but 97 days on market. Now, what has actually sold in Ravalli County? It's important to look at that as well. So we'll go to criteria, we'll look at closed, and we'll just go back the last 90 days, okay, because that's what's most relevant, and then look at the results. So what has actually sold, okay, is selling for, so the average close price, they're selling for 93% of original ask in 87 days, all right? So the houses that are on the market for, 131 or 133 days or whatever it was, is there. Now the average close price in the last 90 days is 688, and they're giving away out of that 688, 7,200 in concessions. So it's good. And the average list price was 720, average sell price was 688. So again, there's some downward movement there. This is not a sign of an increasing market. I mean, look at that. Okay, during COVID, if it was a list price of 720, you'd see a close price of 750 on average, 740 on average, above. Now we're well below. Okay, we've lost that. That's the loss. Okay, so you have to see that. Now let's take a look at Missoula County. Okay, and I'm recording this so you can play this back as many times as you need to play it back. All right. So in Missoula County, we'll look at the same exact metrics. And this video is a little bit more in depth than I usually do. We were up about 420 there, so we're down, 14 or 15. It doesn't move the needle at all. We're still well over 400, which is very high. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at these averages. Okay, these averages again look very similar. Lower average sell price in Missoula or list price in Missoula County than in Ravalli County. Typically, that's just because there's less acreage. Days on market is 113, so a little tiny bit better than Ravalli County. All right, and so what they're getting for that 943 is 2,400 square feet, 9.89 acres right there on average, and that's just what's listed. Okay, now what we want to look at now is we want to look at the pendings, okay, that are here, all right, in Missoula County, and then we'll look there, okay. Now, on the right here, you're looking at 78 days on market, so a little better than Ravalli County. 97 list price to sell prices where they were listed. We don't know what they've closed at, okay, but we're going to look at that. It's important to remember. Average of what's under contract is 1.8 acres, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, basically 650-ish, okay? So that's important to look at. So these things have gone under contract, whereas yours might be languishing on the market. And if you're getting this and you're pending, I'm sending this out to everybody that we have a listing with, if they're under contract or not, because it's still relevant. Now let's take a look at and if you want to just do this individually on your house, just ask me or ask your agent. So if we go back to the last, if I'm not your agent, this goes out to all of our sellers. We have 30 people right now. So results. Okay, this is what's sold within the last 90 days, Missoula County. Oops, excuse me. We go here and tabular. Okay, so this is important to know right here. The average list price, so average close price is a 5% discount, but a lot of those were reduced, as you saw already, down 4%. So it could have been a total of 9% off, right? So that's, or close to original list is 95, so maybe not. But look, you get a very low, so it's in Missoula County, what's showing us is immediately or within, way less days, the days on market, 66 days on market, okay? It's showing us that things are selling here much faster if they're priced right, but there's still a ton of stuff languishing on the market, all right? So here, the list price is $634, starting list price was $652, and closed price was $622. So about a $30,000 spread there altogether. And again, but the average is, and so if you're over this, expect your days on market to be higher and expect your discount to be greater, and also expect yourselves to have to reduce more in order to find that market. But this is just data. The real data that matters is how many showings and how many offers and are you under contract and how solid was the offer and how long did it take and what has sold since your house has been on the market that's similar. So it's really important to look at that too. If you want an analysis, let's schedule a Zoom call and let's do that, okay? All right, so there's your update. If you have any questions, please let myself or your agent on the team know. And I'm always happy to hop on a call with all of you and go over that as well. That's what we're here for, just to advise you, because the longer it sits on the market and the closer we get to spring or after the first of the year, we're going to start seeing more and more inventory come on. And when we see more and more inventory come on, like we're going to carry 400 through the end of the year, I believe. That's like insane. That's like 10 times what we had during COVID as far as in Missoula County. Gosh, we were down to 40 in Missoula County at one point in time, 22 in Missoula. That was our lowest, but again, it's way higher now. We're carrying way more inventory, and these rates are just continuing to hover and or climb. They're not coming down, and there's no sign that they're going to, so it takes longer to get these things sold, of course. But again, regardless of all of that, you can always sell it. You just have to find out where, again, the fish are biting at what price. You'll know. Showings will uptick, as will offers, okay? Again, let us know if you want to go over this individually specific to your property and look at all of the things. The best data in the world is what has sold around me while my house was listed and mine didn't. So it's good to see what they're choosing near you as well. Let us know if you'd like to do that. Thanks.